Gia, your wedding is coming up next week, supposedly?
That's right. I'm really so excited for it that I can't wait much longer.
Well, I'm sure that a lot of people are excited for something like that. But, to tell you the truth, what you're about to do getting married before me is pretty audacious of you. Did you not put any thought into things before you chose to get married?
What? Put any thought into what?
Thought into waiting for me to get married first, so that you could then step up and have your wedding.
Well, but I was proposed to, right? I was handed an engagement ring and then asked by my fiancé to get married to him. I wasn't just going to say no to him because you wanted to get married first. You really thought that I'd think about you being married before I could when I said yes to him?
I really did think that. And honestly, telling him that you were waiting for your sister-in-law to get married first before you had your marriage would have been far more romantic.
How would something like that be romantic? Nothing about that would be romantic.
Another thing I've been really thinking about is how you're already getting married. You don't look nearly as good as I do, nor are you very ladylike, so why do you get to have your wedding before me? I don't even see how you found someone willing to marry you in the first place. Well, it must be because your fiancé doesn't have good taste then.
Did you just call me ugly there? And not very ladylike?
I suppose the reason I haven't been proposed to yet must be due to my status.
Your status?
That's right. Compared to all you other women, I'm on a completely different level. My position is so high up that most of the men around me don't think they'll be able to get my hand in marriage. And that's why they go for you less attractive women. Really, you could say that I'm too far out of all these men's reach.
Out of all these men's reach? You know what? I think you're absolutely right. Just like you were saying, you are of a much higher status compared to the rest of us.
Right? It really is tough being this perfect. You happen to be a very cheeky woman. You are nowhere close to the kind of woman I am. Yet, you went and found yourself a man to marry before me.
Well, I guess I really just never put any thought into the fact that I'd be getting married before you. It's not that I didn't care about you or anything, just I didn't think that it was a big deal.
Huh? So you never once thought about anything I've been talking about? You have not been thinking about me at all? Like, you don't care about me?
What? No, wait, that's not what I meant by that.
So even you're treating me like an outcast now? So now that I brought up my more superior position, you're going to try and lie your way out of this by saying you've never really cared about me? How about you stop acting like a child and face the truth, alright?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for any of that to be personal, but rather I just meant that I didn't think about you at the time I was being proposed to. Normally, I very much do think about you and how you feel. But the fact that the man I love said he wanted to get married totally made me focus on only him and our marriage with one another.
Would you give it up trying to make those lousy excuses? You're trying to make me an outcast right now, aren't you? You don't like me at all because I'm better than you. I can't believe the audacity of you ugly women.
That's not what I said to you.
No more excuses. I have not liked you one bit for a long, long time now. Well, so be it. I hope you continue to look forward to that wedding of yours. I'll make sure to celebrate it with every bit of strength that I have.
You're scaring me a little, April. April, what is that you just handed to me?
What? You should know what that is just by looking at it. It's a bouquet of flowers just for you. I know that you are very, very excited about your big day today. And although the wedding hasn't started just yet, I thought I'd give you my gift to you now. I really hope you love those flowers.
Thank you very much, April. I'm so happy to have gotten these from you. But, these flowers, they smell a little off. Something about them smells sour, and I'm not sure what that could be. Like, they're starting to rot, but they don't show any signs of being that old.
Well, you're right about that smell. Those flowers happen to be a bit poisonous to some animals, so that smell is just a part of that species. They are all so pretty though, right? They all look to me like the perfect present for you on such a big day as this.
So they're poisonous flowers. Well, you can definitely tell that they are not normally given as a gift. There are a lot of black dots in the center of some of the flowers as well. Did they get splashed with some black ink or something?
Gia, are you complaining about the flowers that I just gave to you? You have to understand that something complaining about the gift I just gave to you is very rude and hurtful. Would you please be a bit more appreciative of the gift I handmade for you at the flower shop?
The flower shop made this? Well, you are totally right. There is no reason I should be complaining about these lovely flowers you've given to me today. Thank you so much for the gift.
All right. That's what I've been wanting to hear. The fact that you're going to be getting married before me is totally obnoxious. I just hope you enjoy your wedding today and make my brother happy. And congrats. Now, please go put those beautiful flowers out somewhere for everyone to see.
Thank you. You are definitely up to something right now.
Take great care of them, you hear?
Hey, Landon, do you have any spray on you?
Spray? Ah, like some deodorant or something. I have some on me.
No, not that. Like some spray paint or something?
Spray paint? You do realize that we're nowhere near my house right now, and we're supposed to be having a wedding here in a bit. You're out of luck if you were hoping I'd have something like that on me.
Gosh darn it, you're no use then.
Are you really trying to make it sound like you thought a man like me would carry around spray paint to a wedding? Men don't even normally do something like that. What do you even need a can of spray paint for anyways?
I'm sorry. It's a little bit hard for me to explain right now. Well, to put it simply, I think that your older sister is trying to cause me some trouble right now. And I mean in a purposeful way, not on accident.
Huh? What do you mean she's trying to cause you some trouble?
Can you just come over to the changing room for 2 seconds?
What? I can come there, but what is this all about? That stuff smells awful.
Right? These flowers are the worst smelling things I've ever had the misfortune of smelling.
Well, at least now I have an idea what's been going on. So it was my sister that ended up giving you those as a gift? Well, I was assuming something like this would start to happen eventually. You know, my sister has always been very jealous of you, right?
Oh, thank God. So you believe what I'm saying then, right?
I believe what's going on here. My sister has always been a bit on the crazy end. Normally, she can be pretty funny with how she talks and acts, but sometimes she takes things a little too far and can make some people think she needs to be put in a loony bin.
That's the kind of vibe I get from her as well. I get that she might be a bit entertaining at times, but for the most part, her behavior is terrible.
That's true. She honestly does have the worst behavior. But can't we both agree that this was the best kind of outcome for you? She could have done so many worse things to make you feel bad. But instead, she chose to give you a bouquet of poisonous flowers.
Huh? What are you talking about, Landon?
She could have taken things a lot farther by tearing up your wedding dress or even spilling wine on your head. Because she didn't do any of those things, I think we're lucky. I mean, the changing room is a bit smelly now, but at least that's the only issue that came from this.
You must be really bad at measuring the severity of what she's just done here. My wedding dress, although not torn up or anything, smells terrible now. And since it's a rental, I'm going to have to try cleaning that all out, or else I'll have to pay a large fee.
Ah.
I can't even go out there in a dress like this, or else everyone else will be put off. That's why this is still a very big problem for me. There are some staff here going out to find me another dress to wear right now. But I'm still going to have to pay a fee on this stinky dress, and I'll have to pay for whatever new dress they find for me.
I'm sorry. I wasn't really thinking about all of that. I get what you're saying now. Since that's all going now, my sister really did it this time. But all of that doesn't really explain what you wanted the spray paint for.
I was thinking of repaying the favor to her after she gave me this wonderful gift. And as you can smell now, the smell from those flowers is only getting worse. Well, those flowers are still potent with that disgusting smell. I'm wanting to give her them back as a gift.
While they're still potent?
When she handed them to me, they weren't all too smelly. But they were a little bit sour smelling, but I thought that might have just been my imagination or something. But once I sent them down in this room with me, they began to open up even more, and that smell filled the whole changing room. Honestly, I'm not really even sure these flowers are naturally that smelly. She might have put something in them, like some kind of oil that started to make that smell. So while these flowers are still stinky, I was to hand them back to her. She was the one that brought them here in the first place, right?
I see. But when are you going to give them back to her?
I have a great idea for that. Just leave the timing up to me, please. Now, ignoring this potent smell that's filled this room, let's both you and I go enjoy our wedding.
All right. Okay then. I'm a little worried about what you have in store though.
What? What are you trying to do? My freaking dress is all messed up now because of you.
What are you asking here, April? You saw it yourself, right? I used that bouquet you gave me as a gift in the wedding because I thought they were so beautiful. And since you have been saying you want to get married so badly, I threw that bouquet towards you in the bouquet toss.
What the hell is wrong with you? Are you crazy or something? Why would you use the flowers I gave to you earlier for this bouquet toss? Do you have any common sense?
You think that happened because I don't have any common sense? I'm not sure that's the reason why. Rather, I just didn't know anything about your flowers at the time. Sorry about that.
You can't just tell me sorry over something like this. I know that you had all this planned out for me and did it on purpose, right?
On purpose? Well, of course it was on purpose. After all, I was the one that aimed for you in the bouquet toss.
Look what you've done! You went and changed the color of the flowers with some spray paint. You did all of that in order to keep me from realizing these were the same flowers I gave you, right?
Well, when I was thinking about what color flowers normally are in a bouquet toss, yellow came to mind. I'm so sorry about that. I thought it would be alright to change those flowers' colors by spray painting them.
I'm not talking about that, though.
But that's really strange, isn't it? When you grabbed those flowers out of the air, some black-looking oil dripped out of those flowers and got all over your dress. And not only is that black oil and pretty staining, but it smells awful, right? Tell me, what the hell is that oil all about? Do you have any idea?
You really are the worst. You already know what all of this is.
I really don't know. That's why I'm asking you, what is that oil all about? I just used the flowers the way you handed them to me before. Could this mean that you purposefully put that nasty smelling black oil in those flowers before you handed them to me?
What the hell is this? Jesus.
If that's really the case, then that's really, really sad of you. What's gotten into you, April? Putting nasty smelling black oil like that into some flowers before handing them to me?
Hey now, I did not put that oil in there, all right? I knew that those flowers have been known to be a little poisonous to animals and give off a sour smell, but I didn't do any of that on purpose.
Of course. Why would you do any of that on purpose? There's no way someone like you, April, would do that to me.
That's right. So please don't say anything about this to anyone else, all right? I didn't do anything like that after all.
There's something else that just came to mind. I went and sprayed those red flowers with yellow spray paint, making sure not a single spot of red was showing through. Yet how, after you caught those flowers, which are still fully yellow, did you know they were the flowers I gave you before?
What?
Well, just by looking at them, you should have never known they were the same flowers you gave to me, right? I also made sure to mix some of the other flowers into that bouquet to make it smell better. And to not be all too rude here, but those flowers you gave me looked a lot like roses, so it should have been hard for you to identify them.
Wait, that's,
I knew it. So you really did put that bad-smelling oil into those flowers on purpose. I'm really sorry to have to do this, but I'm going to tell your brother and both of your parents about what you've done right now.
Huh? Why would you tell them? There's no reason for you to do something like that. This is a problem between you and I right now. We have to figure out a solution to this by ourselves, right?
I'm sorry, but this took place at your brother's and my wedding, with all of your family here attending it. So this time we can't call this a problem between the two of us now, can we?
Hey, hold on a second. Please don't say something like that. All right, I get it now. I'll confess to what I did. I was the one that put that sour-smelling black oil into those flowers for you. I happen to have a friend that works in making fragrance oils, and I asked him to make one that was black and smelled worse than rotting fish.
What kind of friend is that? Why would they be willing to make such an oil for you? I think you should cut ties to a friend like that right away.
No, wait. They are a great friend of mine. I will say that they have been a bit too close with me on occasions, but they are still very nice.
April, you are only bringing up this oil-making friend of yours because you are trying to change the main point of this discussion we're having, right?
I would never do something like that. It's just, they are a pretty interesting person.
Well, I'm sure you have plenty of interesting friends. Anyhow, I need to make sure that everyone is aware of what you did to me today.
Why, though?
You want to know why I have to? Because that horrendous smell given off by your oil ruined my rental dress.
What?
The dress that I had rented for today to have as my main wedding dress was completely ruined by the odor that your flowers and the oil in them gave off. There was no way I could wear that dress still out in front of everyone. So I'll make sure you pay up for the fees that I'll be asked to pay.
No way. Are you serious? How badly did the dress end up smelling?
I placed that bouquet on the dresser next to where my dress was hung up, and over time it started to make my dress smell like a dead and rotting animal. It was terrible. You really think I'd wear that kind of dress out for everyone to smell? I hope you can imagine how bad it smelled to me. So bad that I wanted to vomit at times.
So then, how much is that dress going to cost me?
$8,000 is around the amount it cost.
What? Is that expensive of a dress? That dress looked like something that could be made using a couple of tablecloths that were sewn together.
You must really have no clue how the real world is then when it comes to things like dress cost. I get that it was pretty simple, but up close there was a lot of embroidery done on it, and that ramped up the price by a lot.
But there is no way I'm going to be able to pay $8,000 just like that. Hey, can you please do something to help me out here?
Why should I be doing anything to help you?
All right then. Let's talk about my dress that you ruined by throwing that bouquet at me. The dress was a hand-me-down from my mom.
Oh? Is that right now?
That's right. That was a dress she always wore when she was younger, and it had a lot of memories trapped in it. Ugh. You've just gone and ruined that dress of hers, Gia.
Well, that is quite unfortunate. But I don't believe it being ruined had anything to do with me. However, hearing you say that it was a hand-me-down is truly heartbreaking.
Right? Do you have any idea how my mom might react if I were to let her know about this? She might become so enraged by what's happened that she'll no longer let you be married to my brother. You don't want her to start speaking out against the both of you, right?
You think she'd be against our marriage after having hearing about it?
I hope you're prepared for something like that. Hey, Landon. I'm not able to get in touch with Mom right now. Do you know why she's not answering her phone? You are together with her right now, correct? Tell her to answer her phone when I call her.
Mom isn't going to answer any calls from you.
What? Is she busy with something right now? Damn it, at a time like this. Then I'll have to relay the message for me. You know about the dress I was wearing today, right? About how it was a hand-me-down from Mom, right? Well, that dress just got ruined because of Gia. It's all stained up and everything now.
Huh?
I'm sure Mom will be shocked to hear about this. After all, the dress was something that she wore a lot when she was younger, and it held a lot of special memories for her. Can you please tell Mom about what's happened?
And by doing that, Mom will get upset with Gia, you think? April, I know that's not what happened.
What? What are you saying?
I know that the bouquet you bought today happened to be those same flowers you gave to Gia earlier. And now you're upset with Gia because she threw back the same flowers that you gave to her. Well, this is what you get for being a little jerk. So deal with it.
You don't get to decide who's at fault here. Now, shut up already and tell Mom what I said to you. Or even better, tell her to answer the phone.
Well, she doesn't want to talk with you. Because she is beyond pissed at you right now, April.
What?
She's already left my side after hearing about what happened. And she's going to Gia right now to apologize. April, if you're still here, then you should start to head back home. That would be the best thing for you. Everyone here already knows what you did to Gia, so there's no point in trying to blame her for everything. And to be frank, not a single person here right now is happy about what you did.
What the hell? Are they all laughing about me now? So that's how you all are going to start making me feel like an outcast now?
Nobody is laughing about you, nor at you. We are all just disappointed with what you've done. So it's better that you just go home now. Nobody wants to see or talk to you today, including me. I think you should just go home, go to your room, and think about what you did.
What the hell, Landon? You're making it seem like I'm some kind of monster now.
Well, after what you pulled off today, you kind of are a monster.
Whatever. You are all backstabbers. I don't even want to call you my little brother anymore.
April, just calm down a little.
April, have you settled down yet?
Yes. I'm back at home now. I'm sorry about what I just did. I lost my composure was all.
Well, I'm happy to hear that you made it home okay. I was a little worried about how you'd end up after we had the security come and remove you.
And now I'm going to have to end up paying even more money for all the decorations and furniture I broke there. Ugh. I really did it this time.
And what was that? Are you actually accepting that what you did was wrong now?
Well, yeah. I did some pretty stupid things today. Had I not let all my hate of you get to me today, none of that would have ever had to happen. Every time with me, when I feel like I'm being alienated by everyone else, I start to get all upset and throw a fit.
Feel alienated?
Back when I was in public school, I had a lot of friends start to leave me and keep their distance. That's all has left me with some very bad memories. That's why I hate the feeling of being the outcast. Even when it's just the tiniest hint of that feeling, I go berserk. And back when you said you really didn't care about me, some blood vessels in my head burst and I started to hold that against you. Which then led to me doing some stupid stuff today.
And I told you back then that I didn't mean anything personal by that.
I know that. It's just that my brain always makes things out to be an attack against me, and so that's just what I assumed you meant at the time. And I know that the reason why I never had any men come around me anymore is because I'm out of their league.
About that. Are you sure about that? April. To break it to you in the most clear way that I can, you have an awful personality and act like a spoiled child.
What?
I totally get that you feeling alienated by me and becoming deeply jealous of what I had led you to acting out in a very inappropriate way. But even if we look past all that you did, you still are a very bad person behavior-wise. If you want to change the way you're seen by others, then you need to first start thinking about how others feel. I'm sure that's going to be a pretty hard thing to start thinking about regularly, but that's something everyone needs to do if they don't want everyone running away from them.
How others feel?
That's right. Normally, you can be a pretty entertaining person and very funny on rare occasions. I think if you were to put a little more time into taking care of your mental health and started to think about how others feel more, you'd be very popular. I'm not really sure how I can help you with all of that, but if you don't mind, after you're done paying everything off, I can recommend you to a therapist I used to see back in the day.
A therapist?
She's a very kind woman, and I think that by talking with her once or twice a week, she can really set you on the right path to making yourself a better person.
I guess that would be a good thing to do. I'm usually always thinking about myself, and I've noticed that by doing so, I was not making things better. I had always hated being alienated by everyone, so I did everything in my power to try and keep it from happening, like pushing people away with my attitude. I really hope that at some point, I can get past always doing things like that to myself.
I want you to know that I do not hate you, April. Actually, I really want to become good friends. But that doesn't mean I'm going to let you get away with what you did this time. If you can prove to me that you'll pay your dues at the end of all this, then I'd love to go out with you more often for things like coffee or a movie.
Really? You're not going to abandon me like everyone else did in the past when I messed up?
No way I'd abandon you after that little mess up like that. I understand why you acted out that way, and I'll forgive you soon enough. I really look forward to when you and I can hang out sometime. So make sure you take fixing some of your mental health seriously, because it will pay off. Also, I'd like to meet that friend of yours who works with creating fragrances.
Well, that was a lot of work today, Gia. We sure had a lot on our plate at that wedding. Well, I suppose in the future, having all that happen at our wedding will make for a good story. So that's nice.
Good point. It was a pretty fun time, minus the part where your sister was involved. But at least I was given the chance to talk with your sister about a lot of things.
I really hope that this will make a change in her behavior, and that she'll become a little bit less aggressive. However, this was the last straw for my mom, and I think this will lead to her cutting ties with April.
Well, your mom is a pretty serious woman.
She sure is. And there's the whole thing about how April ruined her dress, right? Gia, thank you. Seriously.
Huh? For what? Why are you thanking me now?
You took what was going on with my sister seriously and didn't just run away. I've become pretty fed up with her and was ready to join you on the chance that you did want to abandon her. Even if she is my family. Seriously, I thought that today something insane would happen between you and her, and that one of you might end up dead.
Well, come on now, I would never get that upset with her. She just happens to be a pretty entertaining, although awkward person. And well, I want to stay in touch with her. Also, after my last talk with her a few hours ago, I'm pretty happy with how she's handling things.
I heard things went well for you both there. And now my sister's going to have to pay for both that ruined rental dress and all the things she broke and smashed in her rage before being escorted out. I think all of that will really help her get a grip on her feelings.
I hope so. Now, before we do proceed with anything else, we need to make sure she actually pays all that stuff off. Anyway, Landon, there's one last thing I need to say to you. And that's thank you.
What? Why are you thanking me now?
Because you made sure to get me that spray paint I asked for. After that, April had to pay a lot of money to both the wedding hall and the rental dress place, putting her into some pretty decent debt. I think in total, all of the costs added up to around $12,000, so she went to the bank and took out a loan in order to pay everyone she needed to. Things between her mom and dad also didn't end up going well, as was expected, and they had her kicked out of their house. Although her mom was pretty much cutting ties to her at that point, her dad still wanted to make sure she wasn't going to be completely homeless. So he got her set up with a little apartment and paid for her first month there. The strange thing was, though, that by this point, she wasn't even fazed by her mom disowning her, and it almost seemed as though she understood why this was happening, which caught me by surprise. Once she was all settled into her new place, she then started to work a lot during the day at a few different part-time jobs she found, all in order to pay said loans she got off. I would say in a week she had been working around 70 to 80 hours at all her jobs and would be able to pay her loan off within a year. Also, while she had been working all the time to make money, she was also putting in a lot of work in order to change her ways of thinking as well. And a lot of people had started to say that she's not the same April they remembered her as. She's still funny and all, but those thorns she always had before had begun to go away, and that's really gone and started to make her a more relaxing person to be around. I'm really happy that what happened at my wedding was what helped her start to take her mental health very seriously and began to turn things around for her life in general. Not only was she able to realize that her mental health was bad, but she was also finally able to get out of her parents' house and start living on her own. It's been a few years now since my wedding, and it seems that April is going to get married herself. And what's crazy about the man she's going to marry is that it's her friend she told me about before who works in making fragrances. When I heard that from her, I started to laugh quite a lot. I still have not met with him before, so I have nothing to say about him. But I really hope that by having a partner now, April will really begin to succeed in life and be happy. Now, when it comes to Landon and myself, we ended up getting a little carried away and had 2 kids already. So now we're a family of 4, having so much fun with one another, and I really hope that this happens for everyone carries on in the future. But most of all, I hope that April and I will continue to stay in touch with one another as she continues to grow. Every so often we bring up what happened at the wedding, and that does seem to still bother her a little, but someday I'm sure she'll get used to the story and joke around about it like the rest of us. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.